I feel real good about Brandon. Number one, Brandon is a great character young man. He he works hard at his craft. He cares about it. Very talented. So I expect big things out of him. And he understands his role isn't to be the biggest playmaker in the world. His role is to be the starting quarterback of South Alabama, win football games for us. And so that means just kind of take what the defense is giving you. But he's really done a great job this spring, and I heard about the summer's going really well. Well, I think the way we finished last year would definitely help going into the season. Realize that if we play well, do our part, then we got a chance. One thing I do know about the Sun Belt Conference is a lot of good football teams there and a lot of great coaching, and you better be ready to play every week because you look not only our games finished, with 1 or 2 point losses and 1 or 2 point wins. You look around the league and the other teams are going through the same thing, 36, 34, and that type of thing. So you better be ready every week, and you got to find some way to find an edge. Well, I feel like talent-wise, we're starting to get closer. I've 2 years ago we weren't Division I quite yet, and I felt like our talent wasn't there. I felt like last year it was much closer, and I think now we're probably getting to the point now where we're at least comparable to the other teams in the league. But it all comes down to how you play. Talent only does so much. You got to play well and win football games. The key, in my opinion, obviously we got to win close games like I mentioned earlier, but I think winning on the road. I think winning on the road is probably the biggest thing in this conference you look at, and most teams had a 500 or subpar 500 record on the road. You saw some 2 and 4s and some maybe 1 and 5s and 3 and 3. So you got to find a way to win on the road in this conference to win the championship. Well, Louisiana Lafayette has been the kind of the people, the team that everybody looked at in our conference for the last 3 or 4 years. Them at Arkansas State, and so to be able to have a chance to play well against them last year certainly helped our confidence in going into this year. But this year's a new year. Last year was last year, and everything's brand new, different players, different coaches, and so it's all different. We can't look back. We got to keep looking forward. Much, obviously, it adds 2 more teams to the playoff structure, and so I don't know if it changes anything in the Sun Belt really. Yeah, I think it's evolving, and you look at we have I think 3 bowls this year tied in the Sun Belt. Next year it's going to be 4, maybe 5, and the following year I think with the Bahama Bowl coming in, it could be even 6. So it's great for these young men to have the opportunity to go to a bowl game anywhere. I mean, for us, anywhere. We're brand new, so we'll take one anywhere. But to go to New Orleans, to go to Montgomery, to go to Mobile, to go Daddy, and the Orlando Bowl, and so those are great opportunities for our young student athletes. Well, one thing is Ross has set a good standard for us. He was a great leader, great player on the field, real selfless, cared about the team for himself, and I think that he set a good standard. Now, one thing I don't want to do is compare Brandon to him. But Brandon's going to be his own man, and he's going to do what he has to do to help us win football games. And I think he's done that. He's proved himself to be a guy we can count on, and so we'll see when the games start. But look for great things out of Brandon. Strengths I see in Brandon are first starting with his physical ability. He's got a great arm, and he can run. But then more so than anything else, he is a great character young man, and really he's got a winning attitude and has a lot of confidence, and so that will rub off on his teammates. And we have a quarterback you feel like knows he can get the job done, then everybody else tends to feel like they can get the job done. With our depth coming back, Yeah, I think that the biggest thing is, quarterbacks really normally as good as the players around him, and we have more depth than we've ever had probably, and playmakers. We've got guys at the outside can make plays. So I think that no doubt having those guys around him on the offensive line and receiver and running back that can help him make plays, it's going to make him a better quarterback.
What does being ranked third in the league mean as far as how you see it and how you think the players might see it?
I don't know. Obviously, we won't talk about that much. I think this, in some ways, it's an honor because this is a great league, and people think enough of us that we're at least being voted that high. But proof's in the pudding. I mean, you got to go out and win ball games, and that's it's fun to talk about, but until we start playing ball games, it really doesn't matter. It's kind of fun. I mean, you walk in here and to see the amount of people that are talking about the Sun Belt Conference. Of course, it's a great league, and our kids they understand that what we've done to get where we've gotten, and we have not won a championship yet. We've not been in a bowl game yet. We've got a long ways to go. We got to keep improving. We got to keep getting better. So by no means are our guys even satisfied in the least, because they want to get to that point and be a major factor in this conference. Well, I don't know what I'd say to them. It's what it tells me is the character of these young men. They care enough about this program and this team to make this thing work, and I think that it means a lot to them. It means a lot to the fact that we want to be respected in this conference, and when we play a ball game, we want to be respected. When we walk off the field, win or lose, we want those guys to respect us. And so if we keep taking that attitude, that approach, then good things can happen. Yeah. Well, yeah. Anytime you can have something in house, in my opinion, is much better off because they feel like when we have guys going out in our community to sell advertising to get people in the community involved in our program is because they are part of this team, and that means a lot, when you go out and do that. It's all us. It's all about the South Alabama University of South Alabama, and the community of Mobile. I think bringing that all together has been big for us. Secondly, the radio expansion. When you're talking about going from a smaller area covered to basically almost to the southeast, you go to Louisiana, Mississippi, halfway through Alabama and Panhandle of Florida and Georgia. Obviously, the more coverage, the more times we're heard by our recruits, and more times we're heard about people throughout that area, the more they're going to recognize South Alabama. So that's going to be a great help for us.
Like with the offense, your coach traditionally kind of put it in a more clear term, and I've asked the question, but it's because it's the Sun Belt and having to play some of the SEC schools that there's a uniqueness to the offense. So you have to create kind of a rare identity to try to get people to move the football. And so in your years in the Sun Belt, have you seen that preparing for certain teams, not only on the field, but defensively as well, and it's a little more difficult?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be a little different, Sun Belt or not. I wanted to be a little different than everybody else if we could. I want to try to be innovative. But you're right. You can't just line up in your basic offense and run the football down people's throats and expect that to be the way you win in this league. You got to be creative. And when you're playing guys that are bigger and faster and stronger, when you play Mississippi State and those guys are 6'5", 340 pounds, and we're 6'2", 290, you better come up with something. So I think that's a good evaluation. You got to be a little bit unique, but still fundamentally sound. That's one thing we try to be is great fundamentally, because I tell the players all the time, no matter what scheme we draw up, unless you can take on a block and you can block somebody and you can play with leverage and all those kind of things, you can't win football games. So it never goes past fundamentals. Schemes are fun, but you got to play fundamental football.
Forever now, we've been talking about just many long-term quarterbacks. Corey Robinson, Troy Bolton, Williams. You lost Dini, and you're moving on to your next quarterback. And so, as much as you see those familiar guys, I'm kind of glad to see them go because of the things they could do on offense. Do you anticipate even more? This might be like one of the first years that you turn on the film and it's even more different because so many people have been quarterbacks in a very quarterback-driven conference.
Yeah, it has been a great league for quarterbacks, and I'm glad some of them are gone. Not, it's really been a experience playing against those guys. Anytime you have a new quarterback, it's always something new, and you got to adjust to the new quarterback. And I think that how well these teams transition with their new quarterbacks are going to be the teams going to win the most games. Yeah, number one, does he fit your system and will he fit on your team? Do you have a need for that person on your team? Can he help you win? We start there. And then we always check, just like we do our kids out of high school, character. Why are they leaving? Is it the wrong reason or the right reason? So we always check that out and make sure that we're getting not only a good player, but a young man with good character. Depth on the defensive front, I think, will be our biggest challenge. I feel like our starters are high-quality, all-conference type players up front. Now, what we got to do is build depth behind them. We all know in our league and any league, when you're playing a 12-game schedule, you're going to get some guys injured. If you get somebody injured, you got to have that next guy come in and play, and it can't be a drop-off. You got to have guys that come in with depth and be able to fill that in as well. So I think the depth on defensive front probably our biggest worry at this point. Offensively, I think that the biggest thing is going to be our consistency. I thought we had a consistent offense last year. We did not turn the ball over near as much as the year before, and that helped us win games. So I think consistency will be what we're striving for. Good. Okay. Good. Thank you. Good seeing you again. I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. Oh yeah. Okay. All right.